Hello and welcome to my virtual online store. This is hosted in spatial.io, which is a great place for me as a designer and a creative to display my pieces exactly how I want. It also allows me to build up my concept store with furniture items that kind of really sell the brand, and so this is my space. I've been able to pick everything that I want. Things like this vase, for example. There's a Chinese dragon, jade dragon, just here. My brand is also up here. And the beauty with this space is when you upload folders and files, it all depends on your internet connection. If you've got a really good connection, then things will load quicker. If you don't have a particularly good internet connection, then things will be a bit slower. But we start with the overall concept store based on my project. And here is my avatar. This is my place. And it's really just a space to kind of visualize everything that I wanted to show and kind of everything that explains what this brand is and kind of the journey that I've been on. But it's also a good space to hang out, to kind of meet other like-minded people. It's a space where you can chat with each other, you can talk, you can, try on clothing, you can buy clothing. It's really a space where like-minded people can get together. There are a few functions on Spatial which you can access. For example, there's a microphone where you can walk around as your avatar and interact with other people. There's also a video camera where it captures your face, so facial expressions, things like that. So it's a real life kind of way to communicate with people. So this is my space. It's called Baybird's Lo-Fi Place. There are many options you can choose from. So this one's based on the water. Very much ties in with my project about the moon goddess. And so if we start over here, I've imported some moon rock to kind of give my space a bit more of an edge and a bit more of the outside world. It's not of this world, it's space-like and it's from the moon, and I'm able to host and showcase all these pictures and images. And something like this, for example, I've uploaded on the wall as a poster, and it's just easily accessible. So I can send this link. There's no language barriers, there's no religious connotations or anything like that, but I can showcase this space with anyone from around the world. And as we go into the main part, I have one of my dresses that I've made, and this is actually a 3D scan version of that dress in my store in my space. So this is actually a version of one of the dresses that I physically made, and this is the Phygital Twin. So I speak a bit in my business plan about having a Phygital Twin. So if you do buy this dress, for example, you'll get an NFT version of that. So the dress will then stay with you on the blockchain. And that basically means if you do sell it on, or if you pass it down to anyone, it's that authenticity. So you get this a lot with Chanel bags, for example. They'll come with a certificate of authentication. And if you lose that, for example, I'm not exactly sure if you can get it replaced, but the blockchain will be there forever, and if you do lose it, it's easily to be accessible. So I included these mirrors behind each piece. I have imported those. Like with this jade dragon, for example, it kind of ties in the whole theme, and you can pick your own furniture, benches, seating. So as we walk around, there's some images that I've put on the walls from my fashion film. And it's just really a space where I feel like I can be really creative, but also it kind of enables me to showcase exactly what I want. Because these are more moon rock arches, and as we go into here, it's a bit more of a gallery space. We have some Clo 3D figures. Now these are here to showcase the kind of possibilities with Clo. So you can make them on Clo 3D, import them onto the space, you can change the poses, everything like that. Now these ones have come through with no coloration, but I think it's almost like a mannequin store where the colors can change, but the concept and the visual is there. So to bring potential customers in, say for example, if they are from China and they can't fly over to a little studio in Manchester, I can meet them up in this place and talk through and say, hey, this is some of the stuff I've worked on previously, some examples of my work that I've done. If we wanted to make a dress, for example, and we wanted to put these all over it, and you click on, and it's the high-res image. So even if you do have a bad internet connection, you can then click on these images, and they'll be more high-res. So then I can explain to the potential customer, we've got these laser cut flowers that we could adorn the dress on, for example. Or if we move on to the next piece, and again, clicking here to get the high-res image. We've got these 3D printed moons, which have been gold leafed, as you can see here, so we can do this technique. We can put it on a gown, on a top, on trousers. It's really then an interactive way for me to deal with customers, but also it's, instead of having a bricks and mortar store, having this online space is so much more sustainable, and really just allows me to, I can update stock, I can update shapes, sizes. If I've been working on a few samples, for example, I can then quickly snapshot these, stick them up, and hopefully give the customer a better idea. These are some versions of one of the gold dresses that I've created in Clo 3D. I've then imported those and put them into the store, and I think it you can tell, you can sense what it is, you can see the fabrications, and I can just tell you this is 3D printed with gold leaf, but then to actually see it visually on a mannequin like this, I think it's next level. And again, this image here, you think, oh, nice image, but it's actually my fashion film. So you can click on the actual image, and it should start to play. Again, I guess one of the downsides with this platform is if your internet connection isn't great, for example, then things will load a bit slower, which could be a bit frustrating. I guess that's one of the downsides of everything being hosted on the internet, is that things aren't always as fast as what you'd hope. But that's, a stepping stone, and kind of something that we could either get around by having a faster router, faster modem, or just a faster internet connection. So there you can click and watch the fashion film, which will give you a bit more of an idea of what I've been working on. And as we go through here, again, you can see on the sides there are more images of what I've created, which is visible in the fashion film. So these dresses are, I would come in here with a potential customer, for example, and say, this is our more commercial shape that we have, and this is a more bespoke. And I think we need those commercial lines within the business to generate an income, to keep it going. It's like cash cows, to kind of create that hype around the brand. And so we don't want to exclusively alienate people that can't necessarily afford these higher end pieces that take months and months to make. The gold dress took an awful long time to create. However, if I do maybe one or two of those a year, it's not going to pay the bills. And so we have these more commercial pieces, like the black dress, for example, that would hopefully sell more units, that will keep the business ticking over. As we go through into the foyer and across into the next area, we can see this mannequin that's walking towards, makes things not so still. And I think it's a bit more interactive, and to see, I'm yet to master the skill of putting one of my garments on a mannequin like this, but I know that the potential is there. You have brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Gucci, that they do their online metaverse, digiverse fashion shows. And again, that's a digital twin asset, so you can watch the fashion show in the metaverse digitally. You can purchase those then with Bitcoin or Ethereum, anything like that on the blockchain. But then you also get a physical version of that dress. As we go through into another part of the gallery, we'll see these 3D printed bags. And again, this is part of the business that I think is needed. It's going to help generate some cash flow. It's going to also enable me to bring in some new talented people to teach in the local communities on 3D. This is the potential for 3D printing. It's sustainably sourced and made. It's made with recycled plastic filament. And then just here, there are again videos that should hopefully play. But again, this is the downside of having a slow internet connection. Things might take time. And if I do have a few people in this actual space, then it might be better. It might be better then for other people to view these at their own pace, at their own time. However, I do run the risk of people just kind of walking past these and they see them as an image, but then they can't actually play the video, so they just kind of move on. But this whole space kind of highlights the work that I did with Stella McCartney and the British Fashion Council, and it just explains how I've made this 3D printed bag, the sustainability side of it. But I think it also gives it some rigor. It kind of has some potential behind it. It's not just an idea. Even things like this seat, for example, I've created. I've picked the colours, picked the chrome, picked the faux leather. It's everything that is in this place I've created, picked the colours, the posters, everything from the posters. And again, if you like, oh, that's a nice bag and it has a price tag on it, you then just click on it, zooms in, and hopefully, if the internet connection isn't so bad, it will then bring up that image. Things do take a bit longer to load with the bad internet connection, and I would say that is one of the downsides of having a space like this on the internet, is the connection. But yeah, have a look around the store, interact with product, and just have fun.